Welcome to today's meditation. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. I love you very much. I'm very proud of you. You are your own star. So, in this space, we have conversational meditations. This is all work around the Phoenix Protocol, basically reestablishing a secure connection without noise for your unique operating system. So, welcome and thank you so much for being here. Today, we are going to talk about greed. Greed, right? It has the etymology of coming from a word that means hungry. So there is a lot of miscommunication around greed as to perhaps why someone is being greedy and what is their motivation and how is that affecting you. I like to keep things very simple here because confusion is delusion and we need to be clear here so that you can get on track with your purpose and destiny. So greed, I'm going to talk about it in terms of how it's affecting you because somebody else being greedy is hurting you. And that's how we keep it simple. It is hurting you. You can justify it in a million ways as to what that means about that person, why they're doing it. I'm going to tell you why they're doing it in the simplest way you will ever hear. They are being greedy because they are taking credit from you and they are taking resource allocation that was meant for you. And they're not going to stop because they're so hungry. Why are they so hungry that they can't share? Because they actually are dealing personally with a bad program and something that is siphoning processing power, resources, and energy from the universal operating system of God. And because you're a good person and you're being negatively affected by their greed, there's a pretty high chance that they're using you almost as a shield to get access to this resource allocation and be able to be hungry and greedy in your presence. So it's very simple. That's what greed is. They're literally using you as a shield. They're hurting you and they're taking resources that are far above what they were allocated to have. Far above what they were allocated to have. And they're actually now seeping into your resource allocation. You're a good person. You deserve resources. There's a greedy person around you, hungry, 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 and you are starving. What is going on? That is what greed is. Someone taking resources that were not allocated for them and going far above the attribution that they were supposed to receive. And it's negatively affecting you. That's all it is. We do not need to get so complicated with everything. And once you recognize, okay, there's someone around me that's being greedy. It's the greedy, hungry monster. And it's yum, yum, eating, and I'm starving. So what do we do when we notice a bad program? In our mind, because we don't create drama, I have to tell myself all the time, even in my mind, like, don't be mean. These are bad programs. They need to be rebooted and reset. They just don't know how to use energy properly. And that is the whole name of the game here. Who can use the energy efficiently? Because if you can, you get the resources. Okay? So go ahead when you notice, oh, greedy, hungry monster, yum, yum over there while I'm starving. Okay, well, God, universal operating system, let's click in, ping. This is me. This is my name. Double ping. Okay, now you know who's validating. I wanted you to know that there is a bad program in my vicinity. It is a hungry, greedy monster, and it is taking far more resources than it's been allocated. And now it's actually dipping into my resource allocation. So I would like you to reroute that bad program back to God, ultimate operating source, and please reallocate the energy and resources back to me because I am starving and I'm a good person. I use my gifts and talents properly today, and I'm hungry because I didn't get my resources that I was supposed to have allocated. Simple enough. And God, the universal operating system, will be like, oh, thank you so much for patching that update to me so that we can get on that. And when you get your resources again, please be very mindful of how you use them. I would strongly recommend that if this bad program is a repeating program, that means that the user that is connecting with that bad program, they need to do their own reboot. And unfortunately, you can continue to control Alt Delete. You can continue to control Alt Delete that bad program as much as you want. But if the user is intentionally interfering and interfacing with that bad program, and you're getting your resource allocation and you're using your gifts and talents properly, like, please just go on your path and your destiny and know that you're going to be fine. You don't need to sit there all day, control, alt delete, command, alt delete. You don't need to do that all day for a bad program that unfortunately is stuck in the mind of a unique operating system or individual that is going through that experience. That's all it is. We hope that they command, alt delete it, but you've recognized it. You've gotten it out of your world as best you can, but they keep bringing it back. And you are ready to use your resources properly, and you just don't have enough resource allocation to be siphoned off by a bad, greedy, hungry monster program because they are never satisfied. Eat all day. And once you are aware of the bad program, you can do your best to protect your world by command alt deleting, patching, your resources properly. But you do need to be aware that you just recognize a greedy, hungry, bad program. It's in your vicinity. If it's been fed, if it has everything it needs and it's still overreaching and taking more resources to the point where you're hurting, you need to cut that off and you need to make an exit strategy and talk to God about that, because you say, hey, God, universal operating system, code term God, this is me, this is my name. I, as you know, have recognized a greedy, hungry, bad program, and we have repatched my resources to me. I need some support here because I am in the process of finding an exit strategy. I am realizing that this greedy, hungry program is pretty ingrained in that unique operating system, and I am unable to get through their coding and help them restructure. And it is to the point where I would like to use my resources properly, to use my gifts and talents, to use my pure intention. And I need some resources allocated that are going to pull me out of this situation and help me walk on my purpose and my divine path properly. And you keep validating and you keep your good intentions and you keep doing positive actions and you keep using your gifts and talents and you keep checking in and you give time so that now God, universal operating system, has validated your program, has heard that you have a request of needing support so that your resource allocation can go properly and stops being siphoned. You have to give some time. It will happen. And you have to keep your intentions pure during this time. Your actions good. Because that is how they're going to pull you out of that. And they're going to be able to continue to give you more resource allocation because you're utilizing it properly. So please understand that is what greed is. Greed is someone taking far more resources than they have been allocated from the universal operating system and then not even using it in a way that's efficient, but they're using good people around them who have somehow forgot how to code properly and aren't validating themselves with the system. And so it creates a shield around them where they have all this good energy around them. They have good people around them. And so universal operating system is trying to allocate that energy to that area. And they're siphoning that off because they're a greedy, hungry monster. And you're starving because that was actually meant for you, but you haven't been authenticating. We're trying our best here. We all are. And without proper communication and proper coding, it's getting lost in the system and there's too much interference and there's too much noise. Please, we all need to use simple coding here to help with this noise and alleviate this tension and start using resources properly. You are trying your best. just patch in to God, the universal operating system, so that the allocated resources are finally properly routed. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day.